The Meiji Restoration stands as one of the most transformative periods in Japanese history, marking the country's rapid transition from a feudal society to a modern industrial power. But what exactly was the Meiji Restoration, and why is it so significant? In this video, we're diving deep into the origins, processes, and outcomes of this incredible period of modernization and its impact on Japan and the wider world. Before the Meiji Restoration, Japan was a feudal society ruled by the Tokugawa Shogunate, a military government that had held power since 1603. For over 250 years, Japan adhered to a policy of isolation known as sakoku. Foreign trade and interaction were severely limited, with only the Dutch and Chinese allowed to trade at the port of Nagasaki. This isolation preserved Japanese traditions, but also kept the country technologically and militarily stagnant compared to the rapidly advancing Western powers. By the mid-19th century, the cracks in the system began to show. The arrival of Commodore Matthew Perry's U.S. naval fleet in 1853, with his black ships, forced Japan to open its ports to the outside world under the Treaty of Kanagawa. This moment exposed Japan's vulnerability and highlighted the need for change. The unequal treaties imposed by Western powers weakened the shogunate's authority and stirred dissatisfaction among the daimyo, feudal lords, and samurai. By the 1860s, opposition to the Tokugawa Shogunate had grown significantly. Many saw the shogunate as unable to defend Japan's sovereignty or ensure its prosperity. A coalition of reform-minded samurai from domains like Choshu and Satsuma emerged as key players. These groups aligned with the figurehead of the emperor, who had long been sidelined in political matters but retained symbolic importance. The slogan "Sono Joy," revere the emperor, expel the barbarians, galvanized these movements. Over time, this sentiment evolved from outright anti-foreign sentiment to a recognition that Japan must adopt Western technology and institutions to survive. In 1868, the last Tokugawa shogun, Tokugawa Yoshinobu, was forced to abdicate power, and the imperial court, led by the young Emperor Meiji, announced the restoration of direct imperial rule. This marked the official beginning of the Meiji Restoration, named after the emperor whose reign would embody this period of dramatic change. The Meiji government's mission was clear: to transform Japan into a modern, unified, and industrialized nation capable of standing alongside Western powers. To achieve this, they initiated sweeping reforms across political, social, economic, and military spheres. One of the first priorities of the Meiji leaders was to consolidate power under a centralized government. The feudal system was abolished in 1871, with the daimyo relinquishing control of their domains, which were reorganized into prefectures governed by officials appointed by the central government. This move helped to unify the country and eliminate regional power bases that could threaten the new order. In 1889, Japan adopted the Meiji Constitution, which established a constitutional monarchy. While the emperor was positioned as the sovereign, real political power lay with a small group of oligarchs who shaped policy. The constitution also created a parliamentary system, with the establishment of the Diet, Japan's legislative body. Though not fully democratic, this system laid the groundwork for Japan's modernization. Economic reform was another cornerstone of the Meiji Restoration. The government prioritized industrialization, recognizing its role in strengthening the nation. They invested heavily in infrastructure, building railways, telegraph lines, and modern ports. State-owned enterprises and industries such as shipbuilding, mining, and textiles were established, many of which were later privatized and became the foundations of Japan's powerful zaibatsu conglomerates. Land reforms also played a crucial role. The Meiji government introduced a fixed land tax, replacing the unpredictable system of feudal tribute. This provided a steady revenue stream to fund modernization efforts, but also placed a significant burden on rural farmers. The transformation of Japan's military was another critical focus. Drawing inspiration from Western powers, Japan established a conscription system in 1873, creating a modern professional army. The traditional samurai class was disbanded, and samurai privileges, such as carrying swords, were abolished. To modernize training and strategy, Japan sought expertise from foreign advisors, particularly from France, Germany, and Britain. The modernization of the military bore fruit in conflicts like the First Sino-Japanese War, 1894 to 1895, and the Russo-Japanese War, 1904 to 1905, where Japan's victories shocked the world and established it as a rising power. The Meiji period also saw profound social and cultural transformations. The rigid class hierarchy of the feudal era was dismantled, creating greater social mobility. Education became a national priority with the establishment of a compulsory education system in 1872. This ensured that the population was equipped with the skills needed for a modern workforce. Western ideas and practices flooded into Japan, influencing everything from fashion to architecture. However, the Meiji leaders carefully balanced modernization with the preservation of Japanese identity. Shinto was promoted as a unifying national religion, emphasizing the emperor's divine status and fostering a sense of national pride. While the Meiji Restoration was a remarkable success, it was not without its challenges and costs. The rapid pace of change disrupted traditional ways of life, leading to resistance in some quarters. For instance, the samurai, who had been the backbone of feudal Japan, found their status and livelihoods diminished. This discontent culminated in the Satsuma Rebellion of 1877, led by Saigo Takamori, one of the Meiji leaders who had grown disillusioned with the direction of the reforms. Although the rebellion was crushed, it highlighted the tensions inherent in such rapid societal transformation. The economic reforms also had mixed results. While industrialization created new opportunities, the rural population often struggled under the weight of heavy taxes and economic inequality. These issues would persist into the 20th century, contributing to social unrest. By the early 20th century, the Meiji Restoration had achieved its primary goals. Japan emerged as the first Asian nation to industrialize successfully and challenge Western dominance. This newfound strength was evident in its victories over China and Russia, which not only expanded Japan's territory, but also elevated its status on the global stage. Japan's modernization also had broader implications. It served as a model for other Asian nations grappling with Western imperialism. At the same time, Japan's aggressive expansionism would later contribute to tensions leading up to World War II. The legacy of the Meiji Restoration is profound. It transformed Japan from a secluded feudal society into a modern industrial state within a few decades, a feat unparalleled in history. The reforms of the Meiji era laid the foundation for Japan's economic and military strength, enabling it to navigate the challenges of the 20th century. Culturally, the Meiji Restoration exemplified the ability to balance tradition with innovation. While Japan adopted Western technologies and systems, it maintained a strong sense of national identity, ensuring that modernization did not equate to Westernization. The Meiji Restoration was more than just a political revolution. It was a comprehensive transformation that touched every aspect of Japanese society. Its success was not merely the result of adopting Western models, but also the adaptability, vision, and determination of the Japanese people and their leaders. As we reflect on the Meiji Restoration, it's clear that this period of change continues to inspire and inform debates about modernization and development in today's globalized world. It stands as a testament to the power of ambition and reform in shaping a nation's destiny.